Good afternoon, this is Sunshine Reports. My name is Remy Allen. The Ayedatiwa administration has been commended for its early strides in governance, particularly in infrastructure development. Former federal lawmaker Senator Bode Olajumoke, who led a group of leaders from the Northern Senatorial District of Ondo State on a courtesy visit to the governor, hailed his performance, urging him to prioritize equitable distribution of development across the state and intensify efforts in tackling security challenges. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the protection of lives and property of inhabitants, said military personnel are being deployed to fly zones in the state to tackle recent security challenges. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole provides further details.
Former federal lawmaker Senator Bode Olajumoke led the delegation of leaders from the Northern Senatorial District of the state on a visit to Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa in Akure. The courtesy visit at the office of the governor was aimed at meeting minds with Governor Ayedatiwa on how to further enhance the state's development. Senator Olajumoke, who applauded the strides of the Ayedatiwa administration, particularly in infrastructure development, urged him to intensify efforts in tackling security challenges facing the state. The former lawmaker stressed the need for Security Trust Fund through an executive bill and thanked the governor for the proposed conversion of Rufus Giwa Polytechnic Owo to University of Agriculture.
You have started this 4-year journey on a sure footing. You have clearly defined your priorities, namely the welfare of the citizens, the weak and vulnerable, the workforce, as well as the socio-economic repositioning of our dear state. Added to these are the numerous robust social and physical infrastructural programs and urban renewal in our various communities.
Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, who emphasized that the protection of lives and property remains a priority of his administration, assured of even development across the state.
A lot is being done, not just with Amotekun alone, but with all the other security agencies. Just about a few weeks ago, we put a place at Auga, and about 150 military men have been deployed there. That is Nakoko North. We renovated a building for them so that they can have a place. 150 soldiers are currently there to tackle insecurity from that region, Akoko, Axis, and all that. The forest area, where they also have the borders, Ekiti and Edo, Abo, Oyinbo, or where they have a caution about a month ago when they were attacking the community. As we speak now, we have a base there. There's a mountain in that place, that one they normally hide to attack. They climb to be able to see our men. Anytime they are approaching, they begin to open fire on them. We are taking over that mountain and we have our We're also thinking of recruiting more hands, especially in the Amotekun Corps, so that we can increase the number. But all this brought down to increase expenditure at the end of the day. So we have to look at our budget very well, especially now that we have implemented minimum wage, which is consequential adjustment. It's been really tough, even though allocation has increased. Expenditure has also increased with that minimum wage implementation. So these are issues we are battling with to manage our resources so that we don't leave huge debt for the state by the time we'll be completing our tenure at the time God will want us to live here. setting up of a security trust fund so that we're able to have resources to procure equipment, technology to fight insecurity. I think it's a direction we'll look at really.
Highlighting the importance of traditional institutions, Governor Aiyedatiwa assured that royal fathers will always be carried along in his administration, acknowledging their roles in grassroots mobilization and development. The governor restated his dedication to prosper the state and the people through purposeful leadership. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Towards boosting food sufficiency and promoting agricultural development in Ondo State, the present administration has called on farmers across the 18 local government areas to register in the ongoing open-ended farmers census. Addressing newsmen at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure, the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Aiyedatiwa on Agric and Agribusiness, Mr. Wemimo Akishola, said registration is not just a formality but a means of having the database of farmers in the state. Akishola commended the efforts of farmers in tackling food scarcity in the state, noting that Governor Aiyedatiwa had declared an executive order on agribusiness as part of efforts to reposition the agricultural sector with land banking as major focus. He also announced plans of government to establish a tractor unit in each senatorial district to assist farmers during the planting season.
The farmers registration is ongoing. It's a continual exercise. We're not going to put time in it. We need to get all the farmers involved. We need to get them all registered. This is 2025. Our planning should be on AIDS with our registrations of farmers. These informations are very, very important for us to get away from these food security issues. The importance of this is because we need to know our farmers, we need to know where they farm, we need to know what they farm, and we need to be able to assist, and we need to be able to know them well and be able to assist them whenever it's needed. These are the reasons why this data and this information collection is very, very important. Most times who are going to come to our aid, even the federal government, everything is digitalized out. If we don't have all this in place, we won't be able to actually tap in whatever is going on, which are right now agri sector. And with the new government, we have decided to look at the whole agri sector from the beginning and take it on. That's why the Excellency gave an executive order on agro-business. It is to help the state with designing the agri path in which the state will function. First, we're doing what we call land banking. This is to help us acquire more land to be able to get our farmers to use it instead of just running land at all. You can register on your phone, you can come to our office and register, you can go to your local government and register. This registration is very, very important. The state will know you as a farmer. This will help us to assist you. It will help us to take our data to federal government to actually give you assistance. We have not been getting anything tangible because we don't have this information. This information is very, very important. I cannot emphasize it anymore. That is why it is not closed. It is an open and end registration.
Following the incessant killings caused by the reckless driving of truck drivers on major roads, the Tipper Drivers Association in Ondo State has called for caution, warning that erring members may soon face the full wrath of the law. Chairman of the association in Akure and its environs, Alani Abule, while addressing members in the state capital, warned against careless driving, stressing that no life can be replaced. Omoyola Nguji has details. I want to bring you the detail of the report in a subsequent bulletin. Moving ahead, examination malpractice is becoming increasingly common in some schools and learning institutions. To address this growing concern and restore integrity to the education system, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, is rolling out a new initiative, a customized question paper model where no two candidates receive the exact same set of questions. The report of the story comes in our subsequent bulletin. The rise in alms begging and the visible presence of mentally unstable individuals have reached an alarming level in Akure, the Ondo State capital. The issue has become more prominent and concerning, raising safety, environmental, and public health challenges across the city. To tackle the growing concern, the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Ministry of Environment have pledged to collaborate and implement lasting solutions aimed at restoring order and enhancing public safety in Akure. Osrc's Abidemi Akiroti reports.
Akure is currently grappling with a pressing social issue, the increasing number of destitutes, including beggars and mentally unstable individuals. This situation poses not only a social and public safety concern, but also brings economic and environmental implications. A shop owner at Old Garage shared his frustrations, citing the impact of these individuals on the environment and their disruptive presence in the area.
As they did it like that, normally as a stand there, supposed to feel and say something they now so we they collect them every day by the kata, everything. We don't get choice. And if we just as in address them, come out there, abuse, shift all those things, you go say them, come out there, come my front here, come line up.
A resident, Samuel Oluwaleke, also raised concern over the nuisance and occasional harassment by beggars and mentally unstable persons in the neighborhood.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan tí mo jẹ́ bí leader àwọn ọlọ́kadà ló gáràjì bí wàhálà àwọn tí máa ń pọ̀ ìgbà míì gan wọ́n máa ń pọ̀ sí hold up táwọn tó bá ń gbé máa jẹ́sì gan kọjá ń gbà mí wọ́n tẹ̀ ti dá wàhálà alẹ̀ níbí last month tó jẹ́ pé díẹ̀ ló kù kí mọ́tò pàkan nú wọn so gbogbo kíní yẹn ni mo believe bó yẹ kí ìjọba lè wá nǹkan ṣe sí kán tiẹ̀ kó wọn kúrò even though bó ṣe wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn gan olè lè sàsárín wọn kidnapper lè sàsárín wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ kán máa fi bojú kán máa fi ṣe gbogbo nǹkan ìlú dẹ̀ ti lé.
This concern was further reinforced by a disturbing incident during the filing of this report in which a beggar assaulted a cameraman on duty. To curb the menace, the Director, Social Welfare Services at the Ministry of Women Affairs, Adebayo Oyegunwa, highlighted some recent measures taken to reduce the number of destitutes in Akure.
Wọ́n dá wàhálà alẹ̀ ẹ wo orílẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìsìn báyìí nígbà tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn ń béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn kámẹ́rà wọn ó dẹ̀ dayọ̀ sójú ẹ̀.
You recollect within that period of October, November, we evacuated a lot of them. And by the time we did that, we later found out that they came back. And it's not as if the number of these vagrants are from Ondo State. You observe that we are within the circle, we are being circumvented or surrounded by some states like Ekiti. We have Edo, we have Osun, we have Lagos, and some other neighboring states. But at the time they evacuate their destitutes, they will bring them to Ondo State.
Oyegunwa also pointed to some of the root causes fueling the increase, stating that tackling these underlying issues is key to sustainably reducing the number of destitutes and enhancing public well-being.
Instead of rehabilitating them, but because of our professional concern, our zeal to work, we have decided to ensure that we rehabilitate those ones that were picked on the streets. But if you look at it, like you said, the number is growing in geometrical form. It has been a major concern. We had management meeting on that. But we now feel that the best thing for us is that we will not relax. And I know that Mr. Governor will do that. It's a major issue, it's a regular that we have been doing. But there's no way we can totally eliminate them because it's one of the features of urbanization.
On his part, Administrative Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Olumide Kinga,
are properly taken care of. The collaboration with the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, we had to do with the process of rehabilitating this group of people or relocating them to a safer area. If we have to borrow the idea from Lagos, we may want to interview them and try to see whether we can relocate them to their states of origin.
With sustained efforts to address the root causes of this menace, the state government and community organizations aim to reduce the prevalence of begging and improve the quality of life for all residents.
Nigerians are calling for the Naira for crude policy to be made permanent, citing its role in stabilizing fuel prices and supporting the growth of local refineries. The 6-month trial of the Naira for crude initiative brought significant relief with a drastic drop in fuel prices and renewed hope for economic recovery. Omoriola Ugbeji brings us this special report featuring the views of key stakeholders.
On October 1, 2024, the Nigerian government launched a 6-month pilot of the Naira for Crude policy. The initiative was born out of pressing concerns, including foreign exchange shortages, the need to strengthen the Naira, promote local refining, ensure energy security, and reinforce economic sovereignty. The pilot phase officially ended in March, leaving the government at a decision point on the policy's future. A social commentator, Olatubosun Awe, emphasized that any decision taken must reflect the collective interest of Nigerians. Financial experts Olawale Ijalano and Rotimi Ogunleye weighed in on the potential consequences if the policy is reversed.
Recently, we've noticed that downward review of the pricing of petroleum products, and that in effect has helped individuals as it has largely affected the price of food products. Equally, this in effect has affected the economic situation in the country.
On April 9, 2025, the Federal Executive Council approved the full implementation of the Naira for Crude policy, highlighting its potential to support sustainable local refining and reduce the country's dependence on foreign exchange. Vice Chairman of Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, PMAN in Ondo State, Idowu Adebusuyi, applauded the move and expressed optimism that the policy would have a positive impact on the nation's economic development.
The first 6 months, when they allows Naira for crude oil, for all the refineries across the country, the price of petroleum product eventually comes down, and people enjoys it, and the adverse effect was on so many things, transportation, whatever you want to talk about that is involved in the use of petroleum product, everybody enjoys it. But when the first 6 months lapses, it took federal government for some time to reconsider the issue, and the cost of reconsideration, the price rose up again to over 900. People started selling 935, which was the least.
While the Naira for Crude policy has yielded visible benefits, including fuel price stabilization and a boost to local refining, its long-term sustainability remains under review. Omoriola Ugbeji, Osrc News.
We'll now take the tipper driver story again. Following the incessant killings caused by the reckless driving of truck drivers on major roads, the Tipper Drivers Association in Ondo State has called for caution, warning that erring members may soon face the full wrath of the law. Chairman of the association in Akure and its environs, Alani Abulewa, addressing members in the state capital, warned against careless driving, stressing that no life can be replaced. Omoriola Ugbeji again gives us detail.
The repeated cases of accidents involving tipper vehicles in Ondo State have become a source of concern for the Tipper Drivers Association in Akure and its environs. In response, the association convened an emergency stakeholders meeting to address the worrisome trend. To this end, Wednesday, April 23rd, was declared a work-free day by the association in the state capital, allowing members to deliberate on best practices for safer service delivery. Chairman of the association, Alani Abule, expressed sadness over the rising number of fatal accidents. According to him, many of the incidents are caused by untrained novices who assume driving roles without the association's approval. He urged tipper owners to conduct thorough background checks before hiring drivers, noting that these frequent accidents damage the reputation of the association. Mr. Abule also emphasized the importance of valuing human life and advised tipper owners to hire only professional drivers to prevent further tragedies.
lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ilé ẹ̀tẹ̀jọ kọ́lé tìlà tó lóun wa Tyson wà á ti wò pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bí Tyson ṣe rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tipa ṣe rí wà á gbé fún un gbé mọ́tò mi kò nìyẹn wà á gbé mọ́tò tó gbòòrò títí fẹjú mọ́ ó wá ń fi bàlàbàlà wà á fi kó báyọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ṣe ní fámìlì sí gbòòrò bẹ́ẹ̀ lè tí mo jẹ́ ṣáàmà èmi náà ṣe ní fámìlì sí gbòòrò ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ̀ tó ń wa tipa náà ní ìyá tó ní bàbá tó lọ́mọ tó ní ìyàwó sí gbòòrò.
Other leaders of the association also spoke, charging members to maintain good conduct while on the road.
Tí accident bá fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ òní kó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ o bọ̀dé ìwà sáré yóò rí control.
ẹjọ́ orúkọ tó ń fún wa yìí ẹjọ́ tó bá ti di pé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ń gbọ́ èyí wàhálà onítìpà ọ̀la wàhálà onítìpà ọ̀túnla wàhálà onítìpà wọ́n á gbé ìgbésẹ̀ wọn.
An official of the Federal Safety Corps, Komolafe Busuyi, highlighted human error as a major cause of road accidents and encouraged adherence to traffic regulations.
Mechanical factor and environmental factor. When we are talking of human factor, we are talking of when we want